So I don't know if I can catch you off guard here or not. I don't know if you know the news or you don't know the news. Eli Apple in the league or not in the league? If you remember, he was a free agent when we signed him in 2021. A lot of people think the Bengals saved his career. And then he went back down to Miami, kind of kicked around here and there. He's in the league, fellas.
Nobody gives a flying. Honestly. Yeah.
I mean,
the 49ers.
What is he, like 40?
The 49ers signed him. I don't think he's that old.
No, he ain't that old, Tim. He was a first-round pick, and that still holds cachet for some reason, whether if you were considered a bust or not. And yes, the Bengals did save his career. He did go down to Miami, did nothing down there. He hasn't done anything productive in the league outside of Cincinnati, and that's before he got there and after he left.
31.
What do you think? I mean, yeah, but he was washed at 26. Let's remember that.
That's true.
Do we think that maybe someone should check on Kyle Shanahan? That concussion might be a little more serious than we thought.
Maybe they just needed a body to fill in practice squad. I don't know. Whatever.
Congratulations, Eli Apple. I ain't mad at you. I'm just mad that we don't play you. Because, man, I would love to see him try to lock down T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Holy sheesh.
He would get cooked. That's like having one of us out there trying to cover Jamar Chase or T. Higgins or anybody. We get cooked.
If he's starting on the outside for the 49ers, I'm going to make a mint taking the over on yardage and touchdowns for whoever he's guarding.
I don't think he makes. There ain't no way he's gonna. There's no way he's making the starting the 53-man roster. No.
How
way
bad is it out there? I gotta dig into that a little bit more. I know they had a lot of injuries. But was that whole power plant and whatnot?
Believe it or not, there's still Bengals fans that was clamoring for him to bring him back home, and I'm just like, why? Like, stop it. Just let it go. 2021 was great. We had a lot of fun. 2022 was awesome. We had a lot of fun. But let it go. Just please let it go. No Eli Apple. No more Eli Apple.
Can you break out to that song for us? Let It Go by Frozen. Can you just start making a show tune out of it?
Let me see if I got that here.
Nothing.
Well, damn, that was the wrong button. Welcome back once again. We are running through the jungle. I'm your host, Brandon Herriott, here with your host, Tim Lyons and Justin Lacey. What's going on, fellas?
What it do, gentlemen?
Oh, not much. We are here to entertain Pay.
Yeah.
You know what? Hold on a second. I got a bone to pick with Mr. Pay. I don't ever want to hear you say that AJ Green was never in his prime, even when he was in Cincinnati. You say that again, Mr. Pay, I have a special set of skills. I will find you, and I will do things to you that you don't want to be done to you.
Hey, now.
Pause.
Hey, now.
Pause.
Oh, whoa.
See, if we were on a homies channel, they would have said no Diddy. They would have hit you with the no Diddy.
Yeah,
right
for sure.
there.
You definitely got that.
For sure.
To me, I would have said something more like, "I'm gonna go to work with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch." Old school quote. Yo, man, we got Christine GBG. Thank you for tapping in. Pay. We got Austin's Art. We got C. Donalo. Appreciate you. And he says, Tim, you got no skills.
You know what? You shut your dirty whore mouth down over there. Hey, don't you be coming on my podcast talking smack. I got something for you here in a little bit when I get in the chat on the PlayStation. I got something for you.
All right. Gamer time. Look out. All right. Before we get going, go ahead and smash that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe, share us, tell a friend to tell a friend. We appreciate you rocking with us each and every week. And you know what tomorrow at 7:00 is? Preseason football.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
We're gonna see some things. And I think maybe C. Donalo's seen some things because he says it's all Diddy. All Diddy all the time. Heard that. But yeah, man, let's get into some football. Before I talk about ask you guys what your thoughts are for the game, though. There's one thing that's standing out there from the training camp that I want to address. I want to get your thoughts on. We've seen Dexter Lawrence be dominant. I want you to put a percentage on this. What's the percentage that Dexter Lawrence is back with a vengeance and dominating versus our offensive line interior is failing a little bit? I'm curious to get your thoughts. Justin, I'll kick it over to you to start to show off. Dexter dominance versus the O-line failures. Put percentages on them. Who's winning this battle?
Oh, it's definitely going to be Dexter's dominance that is the talk of the town. If I'm going to label this as percentage as far as like Dexter's dominance versus the O-line failures, I'm going to just put it as 90% as of it just Dexter just being Dexter. And 10% of it is the O-line failures. And honestly, it's not even the O-line as a whole. It's more or less the tackle spots. Orlando Brown Jr., he's historically kind of struggled a little bit since he's joined the Bengals. He got bull rushed in practice by Cassius Howell, and fans was just out there just livid, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Should we have a concern now? My answer to that is no. Orlando Brown Jr. is still a damn good tackle in his league. And Amarius Mims is a Pro Bowl level, all pro level right tackle. And I like our interiors.
Good,
I love everything about Dylan Fairchild. He's going to take another step in year 2. Dalton Reisner is a force. As an old guy coming in at 31 years old, or maybe he's going to be 32. I don't know. He's a force. I like him. Ted Karras, I do have some reservations out, but not enough to be concerned with. We need to replace that. So, no, I'm not going to say really it's the O-line failures at all. I just think that Dexter Lawrence is just that damn good. And he is the guy that just absolutely unlocks everything for this defense as a whole. He is the catalyst of what makes everything go, not just for the D-line. Everybody else is sort of just centering around his energy, and they embody the toughness that he brings. And so, yeah, man, it's just Dexter Lawrence is being dominant as hell.
Being big, sexy. All right. I'll hear you. Tim, you agree? We got 90-10 here for Justin Lacey. Dexter's dominance over O-line failure. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I agree with Justin. I really do. Zach Taylor said that, this is the most dominated defense he's seen in this era, is what he said. Like, that's a big, I know it's coming from Zach Taylor, but from what I've seen online, the highlights and all that stuff, what Dexter, I understand that they're doing a lot of one-on-one coverages. Dex is, tearing up Ted Karras, and Ted Karras is having nightmares about Dexter. Just thank God that Dexter's on our team. That's what I'm happy about. Like, you look at nose tackles these days, how many dominating nose tackles are in the league? Like, honestly, think about that.
4.
See? 4. So
no, it's just an arbitrary number, but it's low.
If it's that number, 4 teams, there's 32 teams in the NFL. That means 28 of those other teams don't have a Dexter Lawrence or that mentality of a defensive tackle. All it's doing is it's making our offensive line better, and it's honestly making Joe better. It really is, because he's pushing He's pushing that offensive line into Joe. Joe's going to have to slide left or right to find the throwing lanes to throw. You know, is it an O-line failure? No, man. No, I don't think so. Like I said, 10%. I agree with Justin. I think it's 10%, but not O-line failure, but just, O-line going up against a dominating defensive line. What do you expect when you got Dexter Lawrence, freaking Jonathan? I about said the F-bomb. Freaking Jonathan Allen, Boye Mafe, Cassius Howe. We seen what Cassius Howe, like Justin just said. We seen what Cassius Howe did to Orlando Brown Jr. Mims over there, Mims. I love Mims. I was happy that we drafted him. It was a great draft pick. That offensive line is going to be top 10 again this season. And it's not an O-line failure. It's just Dexter. Sexy Dexy being just the dominant defensive tackle he is. And I know all these New York Giants fans gave up and threw in the towel when Dexter left and said, oh, the Bengals are making a big, huge, stinking mistake. Hell no. It's definitely 90-10. I agree with Justin.
I did go 85-15, and here's the only reason why. Dexter Lawrence threw Reisner and Karras on their arse at one play, split them, threw them both on their arse. A little concern popped up there naturally. I'm not overly concerned about it because, to your point, Tim, I think the only people I would put in Dexter Lawrence's class when he's healthy is Simmons, Jalen Carter, and maybe Chris Jones. And I would say, what? Williams. Chris Jones? No, not the past year or two. I wouldn't put Quentin Williams. I would put was it Leonard Williams? Is that who was
Leonard
out
Williams.
in Seattle?
Out of Seattle,
really.
Yeah.
I think those guys are the next tier now.
The reason why I say Quentin Williams is because he's still a dominant force. I mean, he just got another contract extension with Dallas after they traded for him. He's still somebody that you got to pay attention to.
Yes,
and maybe not
but
only.
I don't think he's on that.
I don't think he's on Dexter's level yet either.
An A-, not an A.
And it's tough to distinguish because when you even put guys like Chris Jones in that same breath, or even Jeffrey Simmons, you got to remember those guys can also rush as a 3-tech too, and they can run from from a 3-tech position, not necessarily from a nose tackle standpoint. But Dexter Lawrence, from a nose tackle standpoint, he's in a class all by himself. I don't see really anybody is just messing with him.
Jalen Carter, maybe.
Jalen Carter, but he plays next to Jordan Davis, who is a bigger dude that just also got signed an extension this offseason too. That's a guy that I would compare Dexter Lawrence more to, but Dexter Lawrence has the feet and the nimbleness that, like a Jalen Carter, where he can get after the passer. More so, Jordan Davis is more of a run stuffer kind of guy.
I loved watching him doing the first step drills with the defensive backs. It was
the
awesome.
Corners.
Yeah, God love him. He's fun too, right? He's fun.
Yeah, he is a lot of fun.
All right, so let's talk about tomorrow evening. Big news. We got some starters playing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We got some wide receivers. We got Joe Burrow. We got Dexter Lawrence. What are your thoughts on the starters playing? Good, bad, indifferent? And who are you looking forward to seeing out of these guys?
I absolutely love it, because it's getting them that start. It's getting them back into that live, real football, environment. They've been in this season, ever since we played the Cleveland Browns many weeks ago, many months ago. Now, they've been practicing, and now to get them in this live environment to knock off those cobwebs, I think it's a fabulous idea. We might, see Joe Burrow out there for 2 series. And then after that, we're going to see, Flacco and Josh, what's his name? Josh Johnson, come in. Which is fine. Whoever, I don't know if we have a 4th quarterback out there or not. I don't know. To be honest with you, I didn't really care. But I think it's a great idea. I think every NFL team should do it. And I know a lot of people that are in the McVay tree, they don't like playing their starters during preseason. But hell, the Cincinnati Bengals can't afford to get off to a slow start this year. We cannot afford to. We need to get out to a fast start and a healthy team.
Yeah, I like the healthy team. Sean Clifford, Penn State Nittany Lion, fourth quarterback for anybody.
Oh, we still have him?
Okay. How about it? How about it?
Okay.
The big red dog.
Yeah.
A little Clifford reference for you. Justin, your take on the starters playing and anybody you're particularly looking forward to in that starting group?
I mean, to each their own as far as like, whether if you get preseason action. But personally, I love it for the team just because both sides of the ball, they need stuff to prove. The defense got to prove that they can actually take that extra step, even after acquiring Dexter Lawrence, who will be playing. So he's obviously a guy that I'll be paying attention to, along with Cassius Howell, the second-round draft pick, just to be able to see that is the defense really turning the corner. And on offense, they're installing a lot of new things. They're running plays from under center. They're trying to do things to keep the defense off balance in training camp. And they need to be able to really see it come to life in action. They don't have to call plays and go deep in the playbook or anything like that, but just show that you can be consistent. I'm not really expecting too much from the starters in the first series on offense just because we know what they can do. We know what Joe Burrow can do. We know what Jamar and T can do. We know what Chase Brown can do. We know that the nucleus of the offensive line has become become a pretty good unit towards the back end of last year. So I'm not really expecting too much of them. If they struggle out the gate, it is what it is. I just want to see these guys to be able to show that they can just do what they need to do, whether if it's 1 or 2 series and come off the field. And I don't even need to see them no more for the rest of this preseason action. But just show that you can do what you got to do as far as like if it's 3rd and short and you need to run the ball, or like 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4 and you need to run the ball, go ahead and keep the defense off balance and run the ball, or play action pass from under center. Do what you got to do. Do what you already been working those reps on in training camp. So my eyes is going to be focused on offense from there. And that's regardless if Joe Burrow and the offense and the starters are playing. I want to see that with other team units as well, too. So that's honestly my opinion on it. I don't really have too much into it. I know we're playing the Lions. They're not playing hardly anybody.
Nope.
Hell, I don't even think the Teddy Bridgewater just retired. So I can't even name you who the quarterback is. Their final quarterback is. That's probably going to be playing for most of the game anyway.
Josh Dobbs.
The Josh Dobbs. Okay, cool. Whatever.
Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, good. Awesome.
What's that guy's name from there?
Just don't be erratic. Don't be doing something stupid. If you're Joe Burrow, you're trying to make a play out of the pocket. If it's not there, just throw it away. Do not do anything foolish to try to make a play in preseason football. Still can show that competitive spirit like you normally do, but just play it safe, man, and get out of here healthy. That's all I need to see.
All right. C. Donald says, let second and third string get reps in. No reason to risk potential injuries during the preseason, especially with 18-week season and potentially more games of the postseason. I agree, but I tell a cautious tale. We have notoriously not gotten off to fast starts. So that's part of the reason argument we make for us tackling in the camp and training camp. And it's also part of the reason why you could say looking at playing some starters. I don't think they play a lot. Probably a couple series. And the only way I think they play more than 2 series is if they go 3 and out on offense. They might play a 3rd series. I think that's it. But you want them to get off to a hot start. And Joe Burrow likes playing in the preseason. So that's who I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
I want him to go out there. I want him to be that leader that we know he is and can be. And I want him to get off to a fast start this season and show us what he's got.
And you know what? And you got to also keep in mind, too, the Bengals got a joint practice with the Chicago Bears coming up the following week for training camp. There's going to be a lot of physicality in that. But Joe Burrow also stated in his interviews, as well as a lot of people, they're echoing the sentiment of urgency. They need to be able to set the high standards that they need to be doing. And Zach Taylor is doing that as well, too. And so that's part of it that I want them to come out the gate in this preseason, just go right down the field, do what you got to do. But do not overexhaust yourself out of the first 2 series. If it's not working out, go back to the drawing board. Because I do agree with Donald in the comments when it comes to like, don't risk yourself further risk yourself just because you want to get practice. It makes perfect. But that's also why you have training camp. This is why preseason is still in the act of training camp. You got 2 more games left. The joint practice is still looked at as a a reputable game-like environment too, because you're going against another team, and as they're going through and figuring out their installs periods as well too before that next game comes up.
Yeah, I think you said something about the Bears. I saw a replay today of the the end of the game last year when they threw that touchdown pass to Colston Loveland. I mean, I have a Colston Loveland signed jersey right here on my wall. I'm looking at one of my favorite Michigan players of all time. But for crying out loud, that tackling was so bad. They run that little skinny post. And then I can't remember. Somebody came up. I don't know if it was Jordan Battle or one of the linebackers. Somebody.
It was Jordan Battle.
Just threw a shoulder at him. No arms, no wrap, no nothing. Threw a shoulder at him. And then Stone does an ole and lets him spin out and go to the end zone. Yuck. God, I can't wait to not have to see that anymore. All right.
Yeah.
I digress. All right. Before we get into more things that we want to see and break down with the upcoming preseason game tomorrow, we're going to take a quick break and hear from some of our sponsors. If you're watching us on YouTube, we'll be back in just a second. If not, listen to what we got coming on here with the advertisements. We'll be right back. And once again, you are back here with Running Through the Jungle. We are talking the first preseason game against the Detroit Lions. All right, we've established some of the starters are going to play, but I want to talk about maybe that cusp starting position. Been a lot of noise, a lot of chatter, and a lot of people playing pretty well at that wide receiver group. I'm looking at wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 being a pretty contingent and some serious debate going on with who's going to get those spots. Justin, I'll kick it over to you to start it off, man. Who are you looking forward to seeing the most out of these wide receivers? Who are you taking the hardest look at?
I'm going to just go with Kobe Young, 4th-round draft pick out of Georgia. A lot of people wrote him off after we made the draft pick saying that he had off the field issues. And I was like, man, pump the brakes on this. I get it. You're scarred about a Jermaine Burton pick from a couple years ago. He hasn't really found his footing. I understand that. They've been burning the past with all of that stuff, but don't put the same onus on Kobe Young. We haven't seen what he can do yet. For all intents and purposes, he's been very mature since going through Georgia in that program. And he's done nothing but just virtually impress through all of training camp. He's making big catches across the middle from Joe Burrow, back shoulder catches, deep passes. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, how did we let this guy slide to the 4th round? And obviously, you turn on the tape, you turn on the film, and Georgia didn't really utilize his full to him in his full potential in a somewhat of a weakish wide receiver class. But I'm just happy he's a Bengal, and we need to be able to see who's going to ultimately emerge after Jamar and T. Is it Yoshi? Is it him? Is it whoever the case it may be? And so far, the early prognostication is that fans are really paying attention to what Kobe Young is doing in practice. Now, that doesn't mean that he's going to ultimately do it in preseason game, but they have been so impressed with the manners of how quickly he is evolving and picking up the playbook and making plays in these tough training camp periods where the energy and the enthusiasm is higher versus what we saw from the prior 2 years when you had a 3rd-round pick allocated towards Jermaine Burton, who couldn't even read a playbook or wake up to even make it to practice to save his life. So he's the guy that I honestly going to keep my eyes on the most. I know that there's going to be other guys that have been pretty damn good and virtually impressed, but Kobe Young for me is the one that I'm paying attention to. He was one of my favorite picks that we made. I didn't really know much about it until I started watching this film, and the reservations is starting to kind of come to life here for him.
I dig it. All right. Tim, do you agree? You looking at Kobe Young or are you looking at somebody else here pretty deep at this wide receiver position for Cincinnati?
Yeah, they got Yoshi, Charlie Jones, Tinsley, Colby Young. Those are the 4 that are battling for the wide receiver 3 position. I don't know, man. Yoshi, he's done a lot this offseason to really, I think he secures this position, wide receiver 3. I think he really secures it. And I know I'm not like, giving everybody else a chance. But Yoshi, I think he has a lot to prove this year. I think he really does. He has a lot to prove this year. He had a bad season last year. It is what it is. But if Colby Young continues on the path that he's going on, he could definitely find him in there at wide receiver 3 by, week 7, week 8, or after the bye, or after the bye week. He fairly well could. I know Joe Burrow's made some comments about how Yoshi's working his ass off, and he's seen a lot, a big improvement on himself, on Yoshi's, on himself. I think the Mitchell Tinsley experiment kind of is, I don't know. I'm kind of like stage left on him right now because, yeah, he tries to make these spectacular catches and everything.
Yeah, he makes them.
But he needs to be consistent though on the field.
Yeah.
Consistency on the field is big.
Can you make the regular play and run the routes well?
Right. And and then Charlie Jones, I'm sorry, but and I know there's probably people out there that love Charlie Jones, but I don't know why. Just because he can return a football for a kick, that's all he's good for. He's special teams. I don't ever see him personally. I don't ever see Charlie Jones being a wide receiver 3 on any NFL roster, to be honest with you. But yeah, I do agree. I think Colby Young is a new up and comer, but I really just believe that Yoshi is going to cement that starting position week 1.
I'm going to tell you, when Kendrick Pryor got picked up and went down to Jacksonville a couple years ago, I was like, damn, I was hoping we could stash him on the practice squad and get him back, because I really like Kendrick Pryor. I liked him at Wisconsin. I like his upside. I think he's a good player. Like, he could be a very solid wide receiver in the NFL. And now I look at this team and I'm like, oh, Kendrick Pryor ain't got a chance in hell making this team.
No, hell no.
And here's the other thing I'm looking at. You talk about Charlie Jones. Wide receiver 3 doesn't matter to me. I think Yoshi, if he gets it, great. If Colby Young gets it, great. If they get mixed in 50-50, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Yoshi's got to really turn heads and get rid of the drop passes and clean up his game for him to be around after the season.
Mm-hmm.
End of story, because Colby Young's played that well. And I'm looking at this wide receiver 4 position, and you're starting to hear a lot of chatter about Dante Myers. You heard a lot of chatter about him, how well he was playing in the CFL. And my thing is this: they've had him returning punts and kicks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in these two. I'm interested in these 2 wide receivers returning punts and kicks. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I was high on Charlie Jones because his senior year, he lambasted Joey Porter Jr. for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I remember you telling me that.
And he ran such crisp routes. He turned him around constantly. And I was looking forward to that. And it just has not translated to the NFL. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see if Dante Myers can push Charlie Jones for that 4th wide receiver / returner. It'll be very interesting to me.
So I want to ask you guys something. So, and Austin Arts got me thinking on this one. He said Charlie Jones is probably going to get cut, and he meant after training camp. That's what he meant, after training camp. Now, if we have these up and comers, and as you said, what's his name from the CFL you just talked about? I just went blanked on his name. Dante Meyer. You got him coming up. You got Colby Young coming up. You still got Yoshi. Is there a possibility that we cut Charlie Jones or stash him on the practice squad because Meyer can fill in for special teams? Because on kick returns, you're going to see Samaje back there probably, and Charlie Jones as of right now is what I'm going to say, Charlie Jones. And then punt returning is going to be Charlie Jones or whoever takes his spot. I'm just sick and tired of the whole Charlie Jones special teams. Why do we even have him on the freaking roster when we can put somebody else that's faster than Charlie? Because to me, Charlie Jones ain't as fast as he used to be. But that's my personal opinion. What's your guys's, take or feel on the whole Charlie Jones thing?
I mean, it just depends on who's going to step up at kick return or punt return. That's it, honestly.
Right.
That's the only way he's going to make it off this roster. It's just who's going to be able to take that away from him. And because right now it's his job to lose. Yes, he's fallen out of favor. And I actually had that written down here too as another receiver I'm taking a hard look at, but for the wrong reasons, because he hasn't really shown much of anything. He has caught a nice little pass down the seam from Joe Flacco with the twos, but that's just it. That's all he's really done is catch a floating deep ball over the middle from Joe Flacco in practice on one of the days. And we're 9 days into these things, and I haven't seen anything of him really highly regardedly impressing. But that doesn't mean that he has to go out there and perform these super sexy catches and stuff like that. We just need you to be consistent. And honestly, he might be one of those guys that he may not wow you and dazzle you and sizzle you, as what everybody likes to call him, Chuck Sizzle. He may not sizzle you in practice, but he may show up in the game. Well, okay, cool. But that still doesn't really give you the onus that this job is still yours. But as far as like kick return duties, that depends on if anybody else can step up and show that they're more explosive. Because the Bengals did bring in a guy off waivers from Pittsburgh, Isaiah Williams, last season, and he showed some good flashes. He didn't get in the end zone like Charlie Jones did last year, but that doesn't mean that other people can't go out there and do it. But you got to show it first before we move on from Charlie Jones, because right now people are just out on Charlie Jones because they haven't seen enough. But before you move out, you don't want to create a hole when there's not needed. It's okay to keep somebody that is just average, even if it's not in like a more polarizing position like a kick returner. It's okay to keep somebody there just because you need a body there that's reliable, consistent. Because at the end of the day, if you're playing from behind, playing from ahead a lot of times anyway, it's not going to matter. And if you're trying to play field position, guess what? All I just need you to do is stand back there and catch the ball, and even just fair catch, you ain't even got to run nowhere. So just get up, just keep a body back there. But I understand the onus that you want to have somebody that has the playmaking ability from a kick return specialist.
Yeah, and just one other thing. Sorry, Brandon, I'm going to cut you off real quick. He's had eight receptions in his NFL career for 69 yards. Last year he had one target and he dropped it.
That's it.
Yeah. One target and he dropped it.
Let's see something.
So, and I get his return, and I get he's a special teams guy. That's what he's been the whole time that he's been with the Bengals. I get it. But, if we can find a young talent coming out of, college that we already drafted, who's faster, who's quicker, can make better cuts, better reads, okay, great. But then I do see your point, though, Justin, of you saying, he might not be the big flashy guy, but he can go in there and do X, Y, and Z. But when it comes to his NFL stats as a wide receiver, not as a return specialist, it's not very
bad.
impressive.
We know. The amount of criticism that Andre Yoshivas is getting for his drops is way more magnified than Charlie Jones's entire NFL career with the Bengals.
Right.
And he was a higher draft pick. And that's the problem that I have when it comes to the fan base, is that nobody's paying attention to Charlie Jones, where he just sliding under the radar. He's been injury prone. He hasn't made any sort of impact of production. We were hoping that he was going to be at least Trenton Irwin's replacement. I think that was the calling card, that he was going to at least be that, to eventually at one day take over as wide receiver 3. He has not shown that yet. I also think that at the top level of the wide receiving talent, with Jamar and T. Higgins basically just dominating and taking over, I feel like that just really threw a wet blanket over everybody else beneath them. But Charlie Jones gets a lot of flack, where, let's just be honest here. I'm sorry, Andre Yoshivas gets a lot of flack, where, let's be honest here, Andre Yoshivas was a 6th-round pick, and he's doing pretty good for a 6th-round pick. We have excelled the expectations because we're so desperate to try to fill the void of wide receiver 3, when the reality is there is no wide receiver 3 on this team right now at this point in time. And I'm not even saying Mike Gesicki should be that, even though I know fans like to say that. But I just need us to realize that, look, we can't force it. It has to naturally, organically happen. There's an opportunity there with Kobe Young. I think that Bengals fans may have wanted Cyrus Allen for this reason because he had that shifty jukiness that he's going to give the Kansas City Chiefs a lot of great plays over there, because that would have been a guy that you can see be the next kick returner and also getting some actions at wide receiver as well too. He's almost kind of give you that twitchy playmaking ability that you don't see with anybody else on this roster outside of Jamar and T.
Mm-hmm.
So you said what we have? Charlie Jones has 8 career receptions. Is that what you said?
Oh, it was something like that. Hold on a second. Charlie Jones. I closed it down. Sorry.
8 career receptions, and the record for receptions by an offensive lineman in the NFL is 9.
Yeah. 8 for 69 yards, 0 touchdowns.
So the record for an offensive lineman is 9 receptions. So
that's ridiculous. When an offensive lineman's got more receptions than our Charlie Jones that was drafted higher than Yoshi.
That was he third round?
Like
third, fourth?
Like that.
Yoshi, listen, you got a 6th round draft pick. And
most 6th rounders are not even don't even play in the
NFL. They're contributors. They're very good contributors.
Right.
Like Yoshi is. That's a great pick. That's like if you got a contributor for 3 to 4 years out of the 6th round, you're good.
I don't think the Bengals are gonna it was a thought, when I read it, and then what you said about Meyer and everything, and I was like, okay, but he's on his last year of his rookie deal. This is his 4th year. The Bengals, who knows what they're gonna do? Knowing our luck, they'll re-sign him for whatever minimum that they can give him, and then he'll be with us for another 4 years or 3 years, whatever. But I don't know. For me personally, I might be able to find somebody else. But anyways, I got off the track a little bit. Woo woo.
That's all right. All right. Outside of wide receiver group, because we just talked about them, what position group has the most to prove this preseason? So, what are you looking at? Who's got the most to prove, Justin? I know who you're going to say. Give it to us. I'll bet.
Well, if you're thinking I'm going to say linebacker, I'm not going there.
What?
Nope.
Oh,
I'm not going there as the most to prove, because I will let you two guys pull that up, because the first position group that I have on my sheet here that I wanted to pay attention to that has really kind of taken over center stage. We already know the linebacker need has always been there. Okay. We already know what the depth is. And yes, the whole world is going to be watching them. But I actually got cornered. I got cornered as the group that I need to be able to see. And the reason for me is this. I know what DJ Turner ultimately brings to the table. I know what fans want me to think when it comes to Dax Hill, even though he's been here and there nicked up with injuries and had to play different positions throughout his Bengal career. And he seemed to find a nice little place on the outside at the boundary. But I don't know what I'm getting with him absolutely on a regular routine basis. I don't know if he's going to be able to finish entering the final year of his contract, because we picked up his 5th-year option, and we're talking about Dax Hill for those that lost track of what I was saying. I don't know what I'm going to get from him on a regular basis. I know that there's a growing abbreviating just this noise from the fans that want us to extend both DJ and Dax. For me, I'm like, extend DJ, yes, but Dax Hill needs to earn it. He still got to earn it for me. I think the potential is there, but I'm off the snide of thinking, like, what if he doesn't play another full healthy season again? Then what's the depth pieces like behind him? Yes, I like what Jalen Davis is doing as a slot corner. Seemed like that he is going to be the number 3 corner at slot. I don't like what I'm seeing out of Jasir Taylor. He is nothing but a depth piece. Josh Newton has not figured it out. He is actually one of the guys that is in the doggest of doghouse.
Yeah.
He's like McKinley Jackson last year.
He flashes and then falls flat. It just
doesn't seem, he says all the right things, and I'm happy for the kid, but at the same time, I'm just like, you're not figuring it out, and we don't got time to wait on you for you to develop. So what is the rest of the cornerback room going to look like? DJ Ivey has turned the corner, and he was a former 7th-round pick, and there's a lot of guys that was raving about him. he is somebody that I feel like that at some point can leapfrog some of these guys on the depth chart and maybe become the heir apparent backup to Dax Hill if you need him to be. So that's one guy that I have another hard look at. But overall, I just feel like that this is a group that a lot of people are not talking about
You
this.
haven't even said Mario Davis.
Oh, Tacario Davis is another one that we drafted that I got my eyes out on. Third round pick. It seemed like he's doing good. He's catching up to speed. But to me, I feel like that this is the position group as a whole, not Tacario Davis specifically. That's why they mentioned him as one of the first names. But this position group as a whole has not shown me everything that I needed to see right now. I like outside of DJ Turner and only DJ Turner. And this is not including the safety. So if you're thinking I'm thinking about the safeties too, this is not including the safety. I didn't say secondary as a whole. I said corners. Corner room, I'm not all the way there yet, like a lot of fans are. So this is why I have them as my number one position group that I feel personally, me, in my opinion, that they got the most approved this upcoming preseason. Again, I already know what linebackers ultimately is and how everybody feels about it. I'm with you all. But let's kind of think a little bit macroly here, bigger picture here. Because when we nail in on the same weakness on a regular basis, like we did all offseason with linebacker, yes, I'm also going to talk to you, Austin, because you would be crying about linebacker and need to sign somebody in the chat. I don't need to focus on ignore other weaknesses on this team that can potentially come bubble up to the surface when the season starts too.
I dig it. All right, Tim. Same question to you. What position group do you think has the most to prove this preseason?
What does that hat say right there? Run the damn ball.
Your damn mouth. Oh, the damn
right
ball.
There.
Sorry.
Run the damn ball. The reason why I say that is because we already know what we're going to get from Chase Brown. We already know what's going to happen with Chase Brown. Chase Brown is,
Preach.
He is that Swiss Army knife. Run the ball, and get damn passes from Joe Burrow and do his thing. We already know what he can do. But what's going to happen when he needs a break? We've been waiting to see. We know what Samaje can do to a certain extent. Taj Brooks, second year coming out. We didn't really utilize him very much last year. But I hear out of camp, though, is Taj Brooks is kind of shining a little bit in camp. Now, don't get me wrong. I know it's camp. But I'm really going to be focusing on the whole full running back room. Chase Brown, Samaje, and Taj Brooks. I want to see what Taj Brooks is going to give us on that field during those preseason games. What is he going to be capable of? Is he going to be able to get, 4.5 yards a carry? Is he going to be able to swing out, get passes, be precise on his routes, receive the ball and see what he can do after the reception, see what he can do after reception. Because we can't just lean on just Chase Brown. If we're going to be sitting in a under center formation thing, yeah, we're going to be running the football, doing play actions and everything. But we know Joe loves to go out of shotgun when he's passing the ball. So teams are going to be cheating up on us when we're under center. And it's going to either work for us or it's not. But we need our running backs to be ready to go. Chase Brown cannot be out there for every single freaking snap. Samaje is going to have to step up, and Samaje is getting a little bit long in the tooth. We know he is. He's getting long, and nothing against him. I like Samaje. I like what he had that strength, and he has that strength and everything, and blocking. A third down guy, but Taj needs to step up as well. We really need to see Taj get the playbook. Work on, like I said, work on his route running, and work on his explosiveness. Explosiveness is the key that I'm saying there, is because we can't just have him get the ball, do a little cut, and try to make a way in the hole. No, we need him to get the ball and explode as soon as he's get handed that handball, or that ball handed off to him, or it's thrown out to him on a swing pass or a screen or whatever. And that's what I'm really going to be focusing on. That's my thing. And I know yours are like, Tim, why are you talking about the running backs? We got Chase Brown. Yeah, but that's all we have is Chase Brown. Like, if you look at our running back group and rank them in the NFL, bro, we ain't even touching the top 10. We ain't even touching the top 10 with our running back group. So that's what I'm going to say. Our running back group.
I agree with you. It was definitely one of the top of my list. And listen, Taj Brooks, I expected more when he came out of Texas Tech. Interviewed him, as he came out of
good guy. Nothing against him. Yeah.
Great guy. And I just don't think he's been given opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And if you look back at Chase Brown's rookie year, he wasn't really given opportunity either.
Right.
Now, the one thing I will say is ESPN Fantasy Football has Chase Brown's position ranking as 23rd. I'll sit here and wait for you to tell me 22 running backs better than him in the NFL.
It's not.
I don't get that far.
I already know what I'm doing in fantasy football time. People are like, Tim, why'd you take Chase Brown? Why not? Look what he's done in the last 2 seasons.
Well,
why not?
1,000-yard rushing, but you also get 400 or 500 yards receiving.
Yep. Plus receiving touchdowns.
And you get receiving touchdowns, 100% right. So I don't know. That was a little bit weird for me, but
one little nugget too that I had to say about the running back because that was a great call out. I actually had it on my list. It was at number 3 for me. The onus for me is on the coaching staff for that position group because they just haven't really understood how to utilize the weapons on the running back room right. And this is partly why I'm paying attention to the offense in preseason the most because they need to be able to show that they can operate the offense from under center effectively, and that's running the ball overall consistently. That is a coaching philosophy failure, not necessarily always on the running backs. Chase Brown do what he can, but as you mentioned, Chase Brown, he didn't start when he was clearly some of the best options. You had Zach Moss starting over him most of the time, and it took for him to get hurt for you to finally insert him when clearly Chase Brown was the better option. Yep. That's a coaching move error. That's not a running back error. So we don't really know. And honestly, Samaje Perine, look, I've criticized the re-signing of him multiple times because I was like, okay, stop living in 2022. But he's been fine. He's been fine. He's something that I feel safe with. That if
very
you need
serviceable.
To give him 20 carries, very reliable. He's simple. He can just do his job. But we don't know what we have out of Taj Brooks right now because the coaches I don't feel like that they're putting the opportunities in front of them. And we'll see this preseason. We'll see this preseason if they can make it happen. And I feel like last year's preseason was just such a cataclysmic disaster because we knew how bad this defense was. We knew how bad we should have known how bad Jake Browning was ultimately going to be. And you just didn't call good plays, man. It was just bad offensive football.
And if you have one bad running play, you don't abandon the running game. Mm-hmm. If you're going to start going under center and you have one bad play where a lineman steps on a quarterback's foot or something like that, you don't abandon going under center. You have to stay committed to it, especially early, and work through some of this stuff and call better plays. I agree with you 1,000%.
Amen.
I'll tell you what, man, my position group that I'm interested in and I think has most to prove is the offensive line. I know you think I'm going to go linebacker there. You left linebacker for me. I'm not going linebacker. Linebacker's too easy. It's low-hanging fruit. I don't want to go there. I want to go a little more in depth. And here's what I'm really interested with the offensive line. I like our returning starters. I expect Fairchild to take a good step forward. I think Mims is going to take a step forward. I like where we're at there. The guys I'm looking at, a couple young guys we drafted, Connor Lew, Brian Parker, Jalen Rivers and his next step there going into guard. Mm-hmm. How we look with those guys and the offensive line is depth pieces. When it was last time I could actually be looking for upside in our offensive line depth pieces. Wild to me.
2015 was last time.
Yeah, wild to me. So I like that.
Just like for the notion, I also had tight end on my list too.
I did too because I want everybody to give me a reason to bury Drew Sample. Please and
thank you. And I'm just I feel like this coaching staff has an ongoing love affair with Drew Sample, and it's been like that since we drafted him second round in 2019. And I just feel like that not a single person has shown that they can knock him off his spot. And I don't mind Tanner Hudson, but only as a tight end 3. I like that we drafted Jack Gendrys in the second round, but I need to see if he can be one of those guys that can step up. One of the big notes that I have next to the tight end room is who's going to step up. We all are just lauding over Eric All's return, but I need to see him prove it on the field first. Mike Gesicki, I'm not sold on his receiving tight end position threat long term. And so my thing is, who is going to truly be the force to step up to elevate the entirety of that tight end room? I think it is ultimately going to be Eric All. He is the reason why you can run 12 personnels instead of just always running in shotgun and spread formation with 11 personnel. You do have that capability. But what if he gets hurt? What do? Are you back to square one? And if you're back, Cam Grady, no, thank you. I'm disgusting. Like I don't need to see the same guys that I know is just not a playmaker and can't really do much. So that's why I had that on my list too over linebacker.
I dig it. All right. Anything you got here in closing, Tim? Or
real quick, sorry, I had a text come in from work. But on this tight end room, real quick, it's like, what can we do to get rid of Drew Sample? Like, honestly, what can we do? Like my opinion would be if the Bengals created a fullback position and they were running out of eyes and stuff like that, but they don't. But like, I'll tell you this, what I did on my Madden franchise, I kicked Drew Sample. I cut his ass. I kept Gesicki, All, Hudson, and the new kid,
Andrews,
and the new kid from Texas.
Yep.
Yeah, him.
Andrews.
I kept those 4 because I don't think we're going to be able to. Do you think we're going to carry 5 tight ends? That's a lot. Why would we carry 5 tight ends? But I don't know, man. I'm
because we only have 4 linebackers.
That's true. But I guess for me is like, the reason why I always get so excited about the whole Eric All situation is because I'm rooting for the kid. He came in here, he was looking good, playing good, and then his injury, his injury acted up again and re-injured his knee, and from the failed surgery from before and all that. And and that's just part of me as a fan rooting for Eric All. Yeah, I would love to see Eric All really step up and take over that tight end 1 position. Would love to see it, but as we know, we don't know what's going to happen until we actually see this season come. It's just me rooting for the kid, Justin. That's just from, that's me rooting for him. And, but the tight end room is just kind of like, it's a mess. I think it's a mess. I honestly believe it's a mess. But anyways,
I think it's good, actually. We'll see. Proof will be in the pudding, as they say.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I do want to wish a happy birthday to Justin Lacey.
Do you want me to sing to you, Justin?
Mr. J? Hell no. I got a mute button.
Sing?
We got hold on. Let's see if this
happy
mute
birthday,
button
brother.
There it is. Boom. Yeah. No singing.
Happy birthday, buddy.
No, yeah. Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry. I know me and Tim are keeping this podcast as old as it needs to be. Justin is far from being an unk still, so we're good.
We're OGs
well below unk status line. So
yeah,
I mean, I got kids that's calling me that right now, so I am Uncle Justin. So I actually hang tight. I actually have a bracelet that says Uncle Justin. Show it to the camera, Uncle Justin.
That's okay if it's from a niece or nephew.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, unk is in like street cred unk. That's 40 and up. That's no good. That's where pain.
I gotta have some seasoned grays in my beard before I gotta have some seasoned grays in my beard before I can get to that Snoop Dogg level where everybody calling me Uncle on the street. So
that's right.
But man, appreciate you guys, man, for shouting that out. 35 years old. Yes, I know that's back in the 80s or the 90s. 35 is mean like you're getting old, but here in 2026, it's just not that old to most people. It's still I still get the conversation talking points like, oh, you're just a baby, but definitely appreciate it. I am going to enjoy my weekend and, take a long, extended, relaxing break before I go back to work next week on Monday. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
Tim and
birthday,
I will
brother.
be hitting. Tim and I will be hitting
Biddy.
a new decade this year.
Biddy.
Yeah.
But he turns 50 before me, so
That's right.
I'll be younger for a little while, for a little bit.
Age before beauty. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, closing comments, birthday boy. What do you got?
No, man, other than just have fun, enjoy football. It's just the start of preseason action. The regular season is right around the corner. If you are going to be attending the game in person at the stadium, just be mindful that the weather forecast is a little bit dainty. It's going to be a lot of rain. It's going to probably be wet. You may not stay the whole game. It is what it is, but just enjoy football, man. We're happy that it's back.
All right, we've been working on some things behind the scenes coming up this football season where we get into football, regular season football, that is. You will be able to get here Running Through the Jungle News Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on YouTube. We still will do the Running Through the Jungle show live. Some of the shows will be live, some will be recorded. Pay Dirt will be back full time. Next week, we will have on the 19th, we will have a Pay Dirt fantasy football special will be recorded and put up at 6:35. So make sure you check that out. So we'll be doing Thursday. We're going to have crossovers with teams we're playing. Every once in a while, it's hard to find one. We're going to get somebody on here to talk about that matchup. If I can't find a Tampa Bay Buccaneers representative, I'm going to pull somebody off them streets that just knows football, talk ball. Pay said, what and when? Pay Dirt fantasy football special on the 19th at 6:35 p.m. Get it while it's hot. We're going to talk about some fun stuff in that one. He's over here heckling in the thing. I talked to him live today on the phone about what we're going to be doing. The problem is he's down in Florida right now with all that heat. It's making his brain swell, and it's no good.
Probably a couple drinks in too.
Happy hour,
Yeah,
happens to the best of us. Yeah, Friday we'll have the Friday night pick'em show at 6:30 here with Justin and Tim. You guys have really caught on to that last year. It's a good show. I mean, it doesn't help me with my gambling because they never pick against the spread. But it's a great show. Check it out. They have really good insight. And then the homies will be on our YouTube feed every Friday night at 8:05. And we'll be over there talking smack with a bunch of Steelers fans heckling me. So that's a good time. The reaction show we'll be doing if we have a 1:00 Sunday game, which we start off the season with quite a slew of them. We'll be doing those right after live with the reaction show right after the 4:00 Eastern time zone Fox game. So around 7 something. We'll jump on before the 8:00 Thursday or Sunday night game. And then if we have a night game Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, we'll do it the following day for you. So you can always check out our reactions there. Reactions are going to get a little bit more fun on YouTube, just FYI. You can listen to them like you do Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you get Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, we'll be there. But we're going to have a little bit of a raw reaction on our YouTube page.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to start it off. We're going to start it off not really breaking it down, just a more of a raw, visceral reaction of us as fans. So we're going to give you a little bit of a look at our fandom. You never know. Tim might hearken his mother and throw a sandal. You never know.
It's called a chancla.
Chancla.
But I tell you this right now, those is if you're soft, don't show up until middle of the show. If you're soft,
or just listen to it on
because it's gonna get spicy.
Or
just listen to it on podcast.
Listen to it on the podcast on Spotify. We're good. It's going to be always PG there. Fans First Sports Network is a PG place, and we'll be PG there. Might get a little spicy. And listen, it might get spicy good. I might be over there talking mad smack.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody
Great
got anything
show,
else
gentlemen.
before we sign out of here?
No, great show as always, guys. Who dey?
Yes, sir.
All right. Check us out next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. Next week, I will not be here. Hopefully, Tim and Justin will be here handling business without me. I have a work thing, and I have one more on September 23rd, and then I'm free at last. I'm going to be able to do the rest of the shows. I can't wait. I can't wait for the season to start, man. We appreciate all you guys rocking with us, as always. Austin's Art, Christine, GBG, won't say it. C. Donalo, Pay. We appreciate all you guys rocking with us in the chat. We appreciate all you guys listening to us wherever you get your podcast. Check us out next week, 6:35, as we are running through the jungle. Yo, 8:05.